Hare Krishna to all. My obeisances to each and every one of you. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindhu bhyevacha, patitanang pavanebhyo, vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And all of us, our prayers to Srila Prabhupada for his presence, his blessings, and his empowerment. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pricharane Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Paskacha Deshe Tarane.
And our obeisances to you, Gurudev.
Oh,
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutale Srimate Narahari Gurudev Iti Namine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Jai Guru.
Hare Krishna. Great to be with everyone. And Ellie is here. Hare Krishna, dear Ellie. So let's start out with introducing everyone to a wonderful new participant. What happened to Ellie? She just there she is. She disappeared. She reappeared. She's like she's a mystic yogi.
I meant to mute myself, but I turned off the video on accident.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to introduce Carol to everyone. Carol with an E at the end. And Carol is a relatively new devotee. And she, there was a matchmaker who got involved. And that is, how many people remember Kirtaneshwar? Was he ever come to any of our classes? Yeah, many of you met Kirtaneshwar. Very, very nice devotee. I'm his Shiksha Guru. And so he met Carol, and he called me up and he said, well, there's this wonderful new devotee, and I'm worried about her because she lives 80 miles away from Tucson, Arizona, and she doesn't have much association. And I don't, we need somebody to take care of her and inspire her and be her mentor. So I said, oh, okay, sounds good. Let's give it a shot. Give me your contact information. And we connected. And I think in my note to Carol, I said, well, let's just see if there's any chemistry, because it's really, truly my belief. You know, funny, I was, well, there's a whole nother story. But I was asked a question in a recent class about what is the meaning of Guru is one? How many people have heard that term, Guru is one? Nobody?
Guru Tattva is one.
Yes.
However, yes.
Okay, Guru Tattva, or we would so often hear just Guru is one. And what does that mean? So that was a question, and I'm going to tell you, and I'll get too complicated, but the circumstances where I got that question. Well, I'll tell you. I was giving a class in Russia this week, and late at night, and one of the Russian students asked me the question, you know, what is the meaning of Guru is one? So in the process of answering the question, I said that my opinion, Guru is one, but it's not that simple. So this is my explanation. And the reason I'm talking about this is when I said to Carol, my little note, I said, let's see if there's some chemistry. And so that's going to that's why I was thinking of this point about Guru as one. Yes, Guru is one because Guru, anyone who is Guru in our line, is going all the way back to Balaram as the Adi Guru. And everyone is empowered by Balaram. Anyone who's a guru, it doesn't mean just initiating gurus, but anyone who is preaching, who is acting in the category of Shiksha Guru, who is inspiring people, may not be their initiating guru, but any of us, when we're trying to convey Krishna consciousness to others, we need to be empowered. And even individual, we all need to be. We need to make that connection to the parampara, that line of gurus that's going all the way back to Krishna. So any guru, anyone or anyone who's preaching or even really learning, you got to connect to that one guru, that line, that current that goes all the way back to Balaram, who is Krishna, but he is the designated as the Balarama. Balarama means spiritual strength. So in that sense, Guru is one. Any Guru we come in contact with, or even ourselves, we're all empowered by Balaram. That's Guru Tattva. But the nuance that I see in this regard that's really important for people to understand, that the Guru, every Guru, though empowered by Balaram, they have different ways of different ways of connecting with people. It's kind of like, let's say there's one song and many different singers sing the song, and they're all going to sing it differently. So in that sense, the song is one, but the singers are all different. It's a pretty good analogy, actually. I just came up with that. So in the same way, when we're preaching Krishna consciousness, when we're connecting with people, we're connected to the guru, which is one, but everyone is an individual. Every guru is an individual, and every student is an individual. So we need to find out that the guru who we can connect with easily, because just like somebody may sing a song very jazzy, and somebody may take the same song and sing it in rap. It's the same song, but some may sing it very fast, or anyway, there's many different ways to sing the same song. So I would say that each of us are presenting Krishna consciousness in a different way. And all of us who are sharing Krishna with others, nobody's going to do it exactly like any of us are going to do it. It's always going to be different because we're individual. So in that sense, the point that I made when I was answering the question was Guru is one, but it also, at the same time, there's varieties. And that's important to understand. So my message to Carol was, let's meet and see if there's a connection, if that went well. And so we had this marvelous meeting together. And well, Carol, you can tell them how did that go? Carol's not short. She's not short for words. She's a very, very good speaker.
Oh no. Pressure's on now, huh? I think our first meeting was more than I ever expected. I actually didn't have any expectations. It was sort of a surprise that Kirtan made this happen so quickly, but I just feel timing was everything. I feel like I'm really ready to receive Krishna consciousness and everything that it's already revealed to me in about the 3 years I've been involved with understanding the Gita and different concepts of Vedanta. I've even started doing some art for Krishna. I have this sitting here with me, I want to just show you that. I don't know if you can see it, but I painted the background and then I
it's
I
beautiful.
cut out something
Krishna with
from
a Krishna
with a
and a cow.
magazine, yeah. And then I added these flowers here. These kind of stick out. I don't know if you can tell. So anyway,
Oh yeah,
it's just sort of kind of taken over my whole life, and I love it. It's really great. So I'm happy to be here. And
nice.
yeah, did I say what you needed me to say? Our meeting
Yeah,
was great. Meeting was
yeah,
great. Couldn't have gone
yeah,
better.
yeah. It was really sweet. So, but still, we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. Sometimes
Yeah,
you meet somebody and it seems like, wow, this is like the perfect person, and next thing you know, a little time goes by and you can't wait to get away from them. So, there's an old saying: first impressions are the most deceiving. How many people have heard that expression? First impressions are the most deceiving. Yeah, sometimes you meet someone and wow, this is like this is such a great person, and the next thing think all the little anyway creepies come out, and sometimes it takes a while to discover that. So anyway, I hope I'm not deceiving Carol or any of you for that matter. Anyway, I try to act where what you see is what you get. Kind of a goofy, liberal old hippie who is never got the hippie out of him, and presenting Krishna consciousness in my own style. Okay, so yeah, it was wonderful. It kind of came out of nowhere. I got a phone call and I was asked if I would give a class in Russia, which I've never done. And they needed, apparently somebody was supposed to meet with this Russian group and they couldn't make it. And it was a senior devotee. And anyway, that person couldn't make it. So they called me. They said, Narahari, will you do it? And I said, it was like the middle of the night for me. Not the middle of the night, but it started after my bedtime. And I figured, well, all right, I'll give it a shot and see how it goes. And it was really, really fun. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And I didn't know how it would go because it's been many years since I spoke with a translator. And, it's a whole different feel. How many people have spoken and they've had a translator? Anyone? Oh, you have? Okay. Yeah. Um, so it was I was to give a Srimad Bhagavatam class, and it was on King Vena. And by the way, I had no time to prepare for it. It was like they called me in the afternoon. And it was that evening. I mean, I had like a little time to look at the verse and get a few thoughts in my mind, but it was a last minute thing, and it went really, really well. In fact, I recorded it, or they were recording it, and I said, "You mind if I recorded it on my computer?" So it's on Zoom, and maybe I'll send that out to Nitai, and Nitai can make that available if anybody wants to see it. It's interesting. Um, you may find it annoying because you have to listen. You're going to hear the English, then you hear the Russian, then you hear the English, and then you hear the Russian. But it was pretty spectacular. And I was only supposed to speak one time, but I'm thinking there's going to be a lot more coming up. And if you listen to this talk at the very end, they, before they let me go, they kind of expressed that things were, they liked how everything went. So I may be doing that on a more regular basis, speaking the Russians. Anyway, that was super fun. Okay, so yeah, my one of the questions they asked at the very end, you'll see if you listen to it, was about preaching and preaching to others. And I got just so fired up that I was saying, yeah, that you probably heard this quote. Let me quote this in Bengali from Bhakti Siddhanta, Prabhupada's spiritual master. And he said, Prana achechar sehetu prachar, which means if someone has real life, life, prana means life, prana achechar sehetu prachar. Hetu means like a cause or a reason or why something happens. So hetu prachar. Prachar means to preach. And my Bengali is not so good. My Sanskrit's not so good. But anyway, the basics, I can stumble through it. So prana achajar sehetu prachar. That when, and I'm sure all of us have experienced it when we're sharing Krishna consciousness with others. It's just like it's like the best experience ever. It's like it's where I feel most alive. Is what I'm doing right now, and why I'm so indebted to all of you. I feel like the sanghas come or an individual comes and I'm speaking with them. It's like I feel alive. Everything else is a step down. But anyway, okay. So we have some interesting questions today. I did not get a question which could have come from Ellie. Dear, did you have a question? And also Carol.
I'm sorry, I didn't have one for this week.
All right. Well, we'll let you off the hook because we have others. Carol, dear, did you come up with a question?
I have a question I can ask. How should we get those to you? Just through email or?
Oh, what we'll do is you can, we'll put you on a list. I'll give your contact information to Nitai and he'll send out a little, how do you do that, Nitai?
The question, Lakshman Prabhu does that.
Oh, Lakshman does
That's
that.
the Friday. The Saturday,
Okay.
it goes individually to you.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. So just send it to me personally. Just send it ahead of time, a day or two ahead. But try to avoid the last minute because I get lots of last minute ones and then I don't have enough time to, if there's anything I needed to research, then that makes it difficult. Because sometimes I need to go back and read the purport, maybe look some other places to think how I'm going to answer the question. Some questions are easier than others. And there's a lot of different ways to answer practically any question. Okay, so your question, dear.
I'm not really sure if it's going to be in keeping with the theme of other questions, but something that's sort of always been an issue for me is being very, very, very sensitive to other people's pain and their hurt and their anguish and their moods and things like that. I don't let them affect me, but I realize when someone's really bothered. And most of the time I'll say, hey, are you okay? Or there's something you need to talk about. And for a long time, I felt like I had like all of their pain. So it was really hard to like be out in the world because I just kind of hurt for everybody. So that's something I'm working through, but I didn't want to run away from that, the feeling of compassion, I guess. But sometimes it's a lot, and I have to like, gosh, there's so many homeless people, and that person looks sad today, and yeah, I just want that to go away for people. I want them to feel better. So, okay.
First of all, that's a wonderful quality. It's a mood of a Vaishnava. It's a mood of a devotee. Is compassion. and wanting to do well for others. But one of the things we have to understand from the beginning is that we can't save everyone. It's kind of like in a battle, there may be a medic, and there's many people that they're killed on the battlefield, but they'll save the ones they can. They'll save those who are there, and they can only do so many. I love this explanation that I heard a woman give one time, and I really liked it. She described that she was walking along the ocean, and beautiful beach, and there was many starfish that had washed up on shore because of a storm. So there was there's like thousands of starfish. Has anybody ever seen that? Because I've seen that myself in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Has anyone ever seen starfish washed up on a beach? They're alive, and in all likelihood, they will, it's going to be a while before the tide comes back and gets them. So they're going to die in the sun. What do? I love what she said. She walked along and she'd throw one and she'd take another and she'd throw in another. I mean, there's no way she could get them all back in the ocean. But what she could do, she did. And everyone has a different capacity. So, like, for example, I couldn't take the whole world as disciples. I couldn't help I could help a small group. What really helps me is having, well, it's so wonderful having Zoom. Look what we're doing right now. I mean, I wouldn't be able to be teaching at all and have students and disciples and stay closely in contact. And thankfully, there's Zoom, but still can only take so many. For example, a woman can only have, let's say theoretically, she could have, 100 children. I don't think she'd be a very good mom with 100 children, right? You're a mom, so you and yeah, we got three moms with us. So I mean, my mom had 3 children, and we got totally saturated with mommy's love. But if I had 50 brothers and 75 sisters, my mom, there's only so much she can do. So we do what we can and leave the rest in Krishna's hands. Because Krishna loves everyone, and Krishna's in everyone's heart. When we see someone suffering, we know that they're suffering. Let's say a homeless person who's really kind of out and out. There's some karma involved. There's definitely karma involved. And also a life's choice. Some people, they've just made very bad decisions. They became addicted to alcohol and so on. So that's almost like instant karma that they've created in this lifetime, in their situation. But there's also karma from the past that may have had something to do with them having a tendency towards alcohol. Anyway, my dear, the compassion is a wonderful thing. Vaishnava is all about compassion. It's all about compassion. But we can only do what we can do. And we have to have faith that Krishna is there. So thank you, Krishna, for letting us do something. Letting us help you. And,
thank you. That's really helpful. And I do feel, I don't know, at least just good about being conscientious of other people.
I mean, some people, if they can help one person, Krishna's thrilled. If that's what they can do, the one person they find, they help them come to Krishna, and so they even just steer them in the right direction.
Right.
Krishna's thrilled.
I know some people, they're not ready. And just because I
Correct.
am, doesn't mean that I get to take everybody with my happy joy to Krishna, Like, come on, there's a better way. Don't feel so sad. But yeah, not everybody's ready. I mean, I wouldn't have been a couple years ago, 5 years ago, or whatever. I wouldn't have been. So, okay, that's good. That gives me perspective. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, we do what we can, and that. I mean, we hear certain when we read in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we'll hear about some devotees, and Prabhupada says, we can't imitate these people, but they're so pure, like Vasudev Datta. He was a great devotee. He was an associate of Lord Chaitanya. And he prayed that, let me take on everyone's karma. He said, Krishna, let everybody go back to God. Let everybody go back. And let me stay and take on their karma. And he's not faking it. Now, we can't imitate that. We can't even imitate the mood. I mean, the first thing we have to really take care of is ourselves. Because the more we purify ourselves, the more potency we have, and we can help others.
That reminds me of yesterday's talk, and I'm sorry to take up everybody else's time right now. Thank you. Was when I mentioned that I was in the airplane with my brother and the air bags fell down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Tell
didn't cover my.
Tell that story. That's fine. That was a great story.
Okay. Well, I had to travel quite a bit with my brother as a child, between my father's home and my mother's home. And I was the older sister, so I was always in charge of meeting the stewardess and getting our seats and all that. And we had one flight where the oxygen mask dropped from the ceiling because we had a lot of turbulence, and it's a really scary thing. But the instructions at the beginning are to cover your own face first with the mask, secure the mask, you first, and then you take care of the people around you who can't take care of themselves. But what happened when those masks dropped is I looked at my brother and I didn't want to lose him, so I covered his face first.
Yeah. There's a reason they tell you to put yours on first, because you'll be able to help everyone. So, but anyway,
yeah.
But I
got caught up because that brother he's gone now. He's deceased, but I sure tried to take care of him, and it wasn't from that airplane ride. We were fine from that. But yeah, to your point, it's just we do have to take care of ourselves first, and then we'll have the capacity to help other people. We'll have the strength and the knowledge and the Krishna consciousness that it takes to be able to care for others properly.
Wonderful. Nice. That's great. Okay, good. Alrighty, so let's go to our questions here. Okay, we have a question from Parampara Prabhu, and I'll read it. In Bhagavad Gita, the very first chapter, the very first sloka, the phrase Mamankas Pandavas Chaiva is used. Srila Prabhupada in purports writes that Dhritarashtra is making a discrimination here by saying my sons versus the sons of Pandu. He was the uncle. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, shloka 6, Arjuna also makes a distinction by saying Dhritarashtra, and the sons of Dhritarashtra. Why did Arjuna not address Dhritarashtra as uncle and his sons as cousin? Arjuna is a devotee, unlike Dhritarashtra, so he should have properly addressed Dhritarashtra as uncle. He is also showing discriminatory propensity like Dhritarashtra. Please resolve this apparent contradiction. Well, we can notice that Prabhupada in the very first verse, he criticizes Dhritarashtra, but he never criticizes Arjuna. I don't know if you noticed, if you picked that up or not. He criticized Dhritarashtra. He never said a negative thing about Arjuna. And to really simplify this, my take is that Arjuna saw everyone really equally. Both sides, the Kurus, the Pandavas, Arjuna loved them all, whereas Dhritarashtra was very, very one-sided. So all I can say, really, to answer your question, because I tried to think about different ways to answer, or even maybe what your question was, but it's very clear that Arjuna he was just a very, very good character. And whatever Arjuna said, he meant it out of love. He wasn't discriminating. Who are his brothers and who are his cousins? It's one family to Arjuna, but it wasn't that way for Dhritarashtra. Therefore, Prabhupada criticized his words, but Arjuna's were really more open to everyone. And that was, does that help?
Yes, Gurudev. It's just the Sanskrit phrase Dhritarashtra is used, and that refers to son of the Dhritarashtra, and same like Mamakas Pandavas Saiva. So that's why I feel like it's apparent contradiction. But Gurudev, you clarified that it's just it's a pure soul, and he doesn't. Even if he
He
made
was
some grammatical error, he didn't really meant it.
now Arjuna was in the very, very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, before he became Krishna's disciple. He was very worldly, and he was very, very pious. Arjuna always wanted to do the right thing. His goal was to do the right thing. He was a genuine, very saintly person. But doing the right thing isn't always the best thing. What is the best thing? The best thing is doing what Krishna wants us to do. What Krishna indicates is the best thing to do, not what we necessarily think is the best thing. And that's how this whole thing plays out. Arjuna, he said so many wonderful things about people, and he had such compassion. He didn't want to fight he didn't want to kill anybody. He didn't want to hurt anybody. And therefore he said, I don't care about the kingdom. Let them keep the kingdom, because the battlefield of Kurukshetra was about getting the kingdom back that was stolen away, putting Yudhishthira back in the throne. Arjuna said, I don't want anyone to die. I don't want any mothers to lose their husbands. I don't want any children to lose their fathers. He had all these great reasons why he didn't want to fight. And even Krishna said, Arjuna, you're speaking like a very learned, wonderful person, but actually these are the words of a fool. It wasn't until he surrendered to Krishna that Krishna could instruct him and really set him on the right path. And so just like there's a saying, how many people have heard this saying before? There are many roads, many good intentions. How's that phrase go? There are many paths to hell, but for people who think they're doing the right thing. How does that go? Anybody remember? The path to hell, there it is. The path to hell is filled with many good intentions. Is that it? The path to hell is filled with many good intentions. And we see that. So, But when he began to hear from Krishna, then he really knew what was the right. By fighting on that battlefield, Krishna explained, hey, Arjuna, nobody's going to die. They're all going to go back to their original spiritual positions. It was good for everyone, but Arjuna couldn't see it. And just like my thoughts of the whole world, I see the world so differently now that I've surrendered myself to Krishna. I see things through Krishna's eyes, not through mode of goodness. People in the mode of goodness doesn't mean that they're saintly. Doesn't mean they're always going to do the right thing. Okay, so let's go on to our next question. This is
Thanks, Guruji.
Sandhya. No, you're welcome. This is Sandhya. Krishna instructs us to tolerate the appearances and disappearance of happiness and distress. As conditioned souls living in the world, how can I develop the quality of tolerance? Very good question. How do I become tolerant? The only way to really, truly become tolerant of all the things that are going on in this world is when our consciousness becomes purified and we begin to realize we don't have anything to do with this world. We don't have anything to do with our bodies. We don't have anything to do with who we are, who we think we are. When we really begin realizing that I'm not Sandhya, that I'm playing a role in this lifetime. I'm taking care of my husband and my child. But really, it's like when you wake up, when you're waking up from a dream and you start to see none of this is real. All of the pains and all the things we tolerate at this time in our lives is based on our body, being hot, being cold, being I like this, I like that, I don't. All the things in this world that our body reacts to. And also tolerating, like if someone insults you. Who likes to be insulted? Please raise your hand. Who likes somebody to insult you? Ladies, how many ladies would like somebody to come up, another woman, and say, you know something, you're ugly? Who would like that? Ladies, would anybody like that? You're really ugly. Or, how about they said, you walk just like a man. Ladies, would you like that? You walk just like a man. Or how about this one? That dress really doesn't fit you so well. You don't look so good in that. But that's all, but none of it's us. If somebody else is getting insulted, is that going to bother us? Not so much. If you see two people, they're arguing, they're both insulting each other. Do we really care? Or how about this? If somebody goes up to a cinder block and they're saying bad things, that you're an ugly cinder block, is that going to bother us? Not at all. So when we advance in spiritual life and we realize that the whole thing's a dream, and our original consciousness begins to awaken, we're in Vrindavan. There's no question of having to tolerate anything. Everything is full of bliss and love. Now, for me, right now, when it's cold out, I need blankets. I need right. I don't like cold weather at all. It's why I live in Hawaii. I don't like cold. It's hard for me to tolerate cold. So, but on so many other areas, like if somebody insults me now, it may hurt for just like a moment, just for a moment. Of course, when I became even more advanced, that nothing. But it's just like it's like it bounces off. So as we're advancing in spiritual life, we don't even have to think about, okay, I'm going to tolerate this. You don't have to think about if somebody insults that cinder block, I'll get over it. No, you won't even think about it. So that's how we ultimately. Now we may have to in the beginning, tolerate certain things. If somebody insults me, maybe I'll feel a little, but not so much. But I'll tolerate. But eventually, it doesn't affect us at all because we have nothing to do with this world. Does that help answer your question?
Yes, Gurudev.
So just be tolerant. Just be tolerant for now. But as you're advancing in spiritual life, you're going to find things are getting much, much easier. Nitai and Parampara, you guys have been around for a while. Do you find problems in this world easier to deal with?
Yeah, a lot.
Parampara. Okay, Nitai, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Now, they don't bother me much. Like, I don't need to interact or exchange my energy with that because being in Krishna conscious, you're already absorbed in, that peaceful aura.
That's a great point. That's a great point. I didn't bring that up. Thank you. We're already we're tasting something already. When you're sometimes I give this analogy. If you just won a lottery, if you just won the lottery and somebody insults you while you're driving to the bank, maybe you're driving to the bank to cash your lottery ticket, and somebody insults you the way you were driving, it's not going to bother you, man. I'm getting my lottery ticket. So, and Parampara Prabhu, how do you feel? How do things bug you back when you were in the army and so on? And
Much less now, Gurudev, but not as much as Nitai Prabhuji. I'm still working on it.
you're still working on it, but definitely progress, yeah?
Yes, Gurudev, definitely progress.
And it's hard for us sometimes to remember what it was like before we were a devotee. If we really went back there, we see the world so differently. Okay. All right, so our next question. Oh, this is Gansham. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that 5 factors are required for the accomplishment of any action. And then the Sanskrit is there. Atishtanam, Karta, Karanam, Cheshta, and Daivam. Okay, so this is I love this subject and I love this question. In the Bhagavad Gita, there's a verse where Krishna says that living entities, they think they're actually the doer. Prakritim kriyamanani guna karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimutatma kartahamiti manyate. Krishna says that kartahamiti manyate, kartaham, doing, manyate, I'm thinking I'm doing something. Kancham, do me a favor. Raise your hand. Raise your other hand. Clap your hands. Okay, put them down. How did you do that?
I desired and Krishna did it.
Yes. We have to remember that we are a little tiny soul inside of our heart somewhere. We're not capable of doing anything. When we become purified and we're actually acting, our spiritual soul has form. Our spirit soul can do everything. But right now we're living inside of these bodies, And all we can do, the 5 things are the soul, the body. So Gansham has a soul. He is a soul. So Gansham, the soul, Gansham inside of that body, and that body has senses. Gansham, tell me some of the senses that your body has.
Hearing, listening.
Hearing, listening.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's hearing, seeing, sensation, skin,
Reading.
touch,
Smelling,
smelling. Yeah,
tasting. These are our
passing.
senses. This is how we interact with the world. So we have the soul, Gansham inside. We've got the body, and the body has senses. That's 3 of them. Then, in order for something to happen, that soul, Gansham, has to desire something. So you just desired for your hands to go up and your hands to clap as you followed my instruction. So that was a desire. And then Krishna, or the demigods, ultimately by Krishna, but the demigods are empowered. They're making your hands go up and they're making them clap. So they're the 5 things that are happening. But all we're really able to do at the stage is desire. We already have the body. We already have the senses. We are a soul, but we desire. And all these things happen. Now, I had a big discussion with the Russian devotees. I can't remember. By the way, I did it twice during the week. I had to cover 2 sessions. And someone asked me the question about not being the doer. How can we not feel that we're the doer when we know we're not doing anything? Is that a good question? We know we're not the doer, but how do we not feel like how do we deal with it? And this is my answer. You may have heard me talk about that in one of our sanghas. I told them that I don't think we could survive in this world if we didn't think we were the doer. But the devotee, at least we know, like for example, right now, I feel like I'm the doer. I'm speaking, I'm thinking, I'm coming up with ideas. I'm trying to, honest to God, I feel like I'm the doer right now. I'm talking to you, I'm making my mouth move. It's my intelligence. All this stuff I'm doing right now. I honestly, God, I feel like I'm doing it. But before this class, what did I do? What did I do before the class started? You've heard me mention this many times. What did I do before the class started? I go to my deities. I go to the altar and I say, my Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Radha Krishna, please empower me to speak. Because without you, I can't do anything. Now, when I come in here, I feel like I'm doing it. But after this class, if I feel like if nobody boos me off or everybody doesn't turn me off, if we get through this class, at the end, I'm going to go back to the altar and thank the deities for empowering me. At the end of the day, like Gansham, you're working all day at the in your computer job, and you have a lot of people to organize, right? You've got 70 some people that work under you.
They used to work under me, but now I don't manage any team, Gurudev.
You don't
I
manage
used
people.
to.
You don't manage them anymore.
No, I do not.
So are you programming? Are you in the
Yes.
computer programming? Doesn't it
Yes.
feel like you that's doing the programming?
It does. Yes. That's the illusion, but yes, it feels like I'm
Yes.
doing.
So what you do is before you go to work or in the morning, my dear Krishna, I can't do anything myself, but please empower me to be a really good daddy and a really good father, a really good husband. I want to do my work nicely so that I can make some money for my family. So please empower me. And then at the end of the day, you can come back. Today went great. Thank you so much. And I think, like, for example, Arjuna. Krishna told Arjuna, Nimanta matra bhava savisachin. Actually, the first part of that verse, he says, Mayaive te nitanda purvameva. That means, Arjuna, I killed everybody on the battlefield already. I already killed them. Mayaive te nitanda purvameva. Everybody is already, it's already done. Means it was going to happen. Krishna made it so this is already going to happen. They're already going to die on the battlefield. But nimitta matra bhava savisachin, become my instrument. I will guarantee you, at least, no, I shouldn't say guarantee. It's my understanding. When Arjuna went on that battlefield, he felt like he was the warrior. He fought like a warrior. But at the end of the day, as he hears in Bhagavad Gita, that really Krishna was empowering him to do that. So that's my take on not being the doer. We understand it, but we have to. But it's not practical for us. I told this story. I mentioned it in my class, and I think I mentioned it to all of you. I was giving a class at a church with Tirtha Prabhu. We were giving a Bhagavad Gita class. And in that Bhagavad Gita class, I was talking about how we're not the doer. We don't really do anything. We just desire it to happen. So when I was driving home up over Like Highway, I was driving back home up a mountain. And for a moment, I started to think how I'm really not doing anything. And I felt like I was going to crash. It's like it was too dangerous to even think that way. I had to think I'm the doer and take control of this car, even though I'm not really doing anything. So I think that's my take on it. Does that help, Sandhya? Oh, no, Ghanshyam, this is your question. Does that help you?
Yes, Gurudev. So that means that Krishna has to sanction.
And do, and not just, and he somehow he
Yeah.
does it. He doesn't sanction and then you get to do it. You're not doing anything. When in your spiritual body, or your spirit, you don't have a spiritual, but you are a spiritual body. In the spiritual world, no, you're doing. You are, chasing after you're helping Krishna tend the cows, right? You're helping Krishna slay some demon, or maybe you're assisting the gopis and maybe you're hanging the swing for Krishna that Krishna's going to swing in. You're doing everything, but not here in this world. Okay. Then we go to Nitai. Nitai, did I miss anybody? Okay. Pabalochan, did you send a question? You almost always do, but I didn't see one.
Gurudev, I didn't send it today.
In trouble.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Yeah, sometimes we get busy. Okay. Let's see. So this is a quote in the Srimad Bhagavatam. O saintly Uddhava, please know that you may worship me in the sun, fire, brahmanas, cows, Vaishnavas, sky, wind, water, earth, individual soul, and all living entities. This is a quote. So Krishna is telling Uddhava how he's teaching Uddhava how to always remember Krishna. So if we look, for example, up in the clouds, which some, they're like, clouds can be amazing, all these different shapes and forms and how they're moving. When we look in the clouds, it should remind us of Krishna. When I look out at the water, I'm looking out at the ocean right now. I see waves going by and I see the palm tree swaying. It's all Krishna. The idea is we want to always be thinking of Krishna. Here's a good example. When my mother left this world, my sisters were jockeying back and forth. Who gets what? Somebody wanted, one wanted my mother's wedding ring. Someone wanted, there's all these different things that they wanted because they reminded them of mommy. I'm sitting at a table right now. When they came and they asked me, they said, Howie, my brother, what things do you want after mommy left the world? I said, there's only two things I want. I want the table. It's a really cool looking table, but it's a table that I sat in from junior high school through finishing college at this table, and it was the first time, 1966, the first time I ever smoked pot. My buddies and I sat around this table and we smoked. I'll show you the table. I don't know if you can. Well, I got a bunch of stuff on it. Can you see the table? I think I have too much stuff on it to. But anyway, the table remind me of my family. It makes me think of my mom, my dad, my sisters, and then there's one painting that my mother really loved. It was a painting of me, but my mom loved this painting, and she said, "Howie, darling, I look into your eyes in this painting, and I feel your presence." And when my mom left, I thought it was not my mother's favorite possession. So I said the only two things I want are the table and that picture that mommy loves so much. And they all, I think of my mom every time I walk in my bedroom. Have I shown this picture to anyone? Maybe some of you seen it. Ellie got to see it. Gansham, did you get to see the picture of they
No,
ever show
Gurudev,
that?
I haven't.
All right, I'll show you real quick. This is a painting that the artist. I was invited, to an art class. They this was back in 1970. I heard that this art class, if they thought you had an interesting face that the artist could paint, they would pay you to just sit there and get paid and just sitting in a chair. So I thought, I think that's the one thing I'm qualified to do is to sit in a chair. So anyway, this is what it looked like in 1970.
Wow.
My mother loves this painting. It looks exactly like me. I'm going to come in close so you can see the eyes. Can you see?
Yes, Gurudev. This reminds me of Jim Morrison, Gurudev.
Anyway, this was before I was a devotee. And anyway, but my mother loved this. And honest to God, I feel my mother's presence in this. So to answer the question, Nitai's question, is that the reason Krishna was instructing Uddhava was that everything we see, no matter what it is, he gave a whole variety of things, no matter what it is, and we can train ourselves to start making us see Krishna in everything. We train ourselves. And then once we get that down, it doesn't mean that Krishna is the cloud, but it reminds us that what Krishna is doing. It makes us think of Krishna. And we should try to, everything should help us to remember Krishna. Especially I see the birds flying by. It's so man, what a creature. These beautiful egrets come and they land all day long, right out where I'm looking. And flowers, we look at a flower. Oh, only Krishna could make this flower come. Only Krishna can make the rain. So everything we see, look how big that list was that we read. Read it again. The sun, the fire. How many people sat by a campfire and watched the campfire? How many people have done that? How many people have been to a campfire outside? And do you notice that everybody that sits around, they're always looking at the fire, at the campfire? It's mesmerizing, isn't it? Or what about a candle? When you see a candle burn, just a candle, how many people just sat there and just watched the candle and you never get tired of watching this candle? It's so amazing. Like, what is this thing? It's like, it's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I mean, I could sit there forever and watch this. Or like when I was a kid, I had an aquarium. I had a bunch of aquariums. And I could sit there like for hours and just watch the fishies swim by. That's mesmerized, watching little fish swim over here, they swim over there. So if I had back then was thinking, wow, Krishna made this fish, or that flame is Krishna, then we're always thinking of Krishna. That's what that's all about. Everything should be reminding us of Krishna. Some things easier than others. If you see a stop sign, how's it going to remind me of Krishna? Well, I have to stop my bad habits. I don't know, but we could figure it. If we're creative enough, right? Stop sign. Okay, stop, but stop making offenses. Stop wasting time. Narahari, you're wasting too much time. So we can make something out of it. Yeah, that was a pretty good trick. Stop sign. Yeah. I was thinking, what are you going to think? What are you going to do with a stop sign? But there's a lot you can do with a stop sign. You get creative. And so Krishna was trying to get Uddhavas to get creative. Oh my God, we're past our time already. What a wonderful Sangha we had today. Everybody have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And Carol, we're so glad that you're with us. And it's great to have you on board.
It's really an honor. Thank you.
It's an honor for us to have you with us, because we can immediately, everybody can tell this. She's sincere. She's the real deal. She really wants Krishna, and we'll do all we can to help you achieve that, to awaken that love of Krishna in your hearts. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.